about the poet, and then let's go to the poem. So Raymond Wilson, he was born in 1874 and he died in 1942 in London. So he was a English literary scholar, a poet, an author, and he had like very close connectionships in the College of London. So to externalize the College of London is the main university of London, not in London, in the United Kingdom. So let's go to the poem. So if you see the poem, it's really open verse, no strict stanzas, no nothing, but there is a rhythmic pattern. So double A, double B, A, B, B. So let's see. Now, there is a caption in italic saying that the sad story of a man who didn't believe in ghosts. So it's a summary of the whole poem, like a very simple summary. So it's a nice caption, italic caption, I must say. And now let's go like a story. So a meeting with friends. Okay, some friends are meeting. So let's say, and then some friends are saying that there is a haunted house, and one man shows up and he says that he laughs, he mocks everything, and he says there's nothing like that. And then like to prove he's right, he's gonna stay through the night in this haunted house. So of course, the people aren't forcing him, but he's actually voluntarily going through such hardship. So that's the first 6 lines. Yeah. So after that, we can like in the poem we can see like it starts to like build up the heat. So we can see some imagery like the hunchback moon. Hunchback moon means the crescent moon. It comes out, and then the owl starts like howling, and like the writer tries to like recreate the scene through a few words. Like he's trying to build up the intensity of the scene. So now he's in the night, he's staying there, and then like uh, he's like really sure there's nothing like ghost, something like ghost. But then when you go through the poem, you can see like these brackets like something. Of course, in poems you don't see brackets in the middle of a poem, but it actually the writer is trying to convey that he is so scared, his inward consciousness are forcing him to react. So now like for me it's really ironic the first few lines, because he's saying that there is no ghost, and now he's saying like he's getting really scared. Then like after like trying to build up his strength, and he's actually remembering there is no such thing as ghost, but again the strength goes down, it becomes worthless, and then he tries his full best to protect himself, and then suddenly a voice comes to his ear, and it says, "How do you do? Pray, who are you?" That means the ghost speaks. Okay, now let's just like analyze a bit furthermore. So, in the last few lines, for me, it's actually really a suspense, because a ghost cannot be this kind for me. Because now let's see, pray, who are you means actually British people use this. A British village slang. Villagers use this, but not the commercial areas in Britain. Pray, who are you? It's actually a respectable word. Plus, how do you do? Another respectable sentence. From like at first, like when we think a ghost, it must be like a very scary type, very scary type ghost. But in the poem, the ghost is not what it seems to be. Now, of course, a ghost can't say like disrespectful for a man. So yeah, that's a story. So if you like analyze it more, since it's a British poem, there are so many slangs. Slangs means actually like there are two types of slang. Some are British, some are American. So in here there are British slangs like tut tut, tittle tattle. Tut tut means be quiet in British slangs, and tittle tattle means such stories. And then let's see the rhythmic pattern. So it comes like a little like a sing song fashion, and like This is actually really easy to understand due to its simple English. So, as I said, it's like double A, double B, rhythmic pattern. And then I must say that the writer, like my final things, the writer looks sarcastic for the people who are like too sure about something. Now, since here you can see how ironic it is. First, the man says there is nothing, nothing like this, and then through the middle of the poem, we can see he's like he's trying to protect himself. He's trying to make up himself, and he's like doing all the things to like protect himself. And then finally, the climax, let's say the climax comes, saying that there are some things like ghosts. So that's the thing. And then let's talk about the setting. The setting of the whole place is actually somewhere in Britain. It's because the British words. A British, oh yeah, a British haunted house, a country style British haunted house. Because like let's see, a poker means it's like a stick used in fireplaces. So plus the scenery is like, let's say it's very haunted with some wilted trees and some owls and the moon. So it creates this visual imaginary, so we can see like he's trying to like create a scene from a movie through our own head, just from a few words. Okay, then let's see the techniques. So simple English, there are no such huge words. It's a simple English. Then the British language, as I said, and rhythmic style, A B A double B. So let's see about the themes. I'll just talk two of them. So appearances versus reality. So let's say now the man seems to be so strong and daring, but at the end he became coward. So that's one of it. And then the expectations versus reality. Of course, like we expected this man to be strong throughout the poem, but it became the opposite. Plus, we expect the ghost to be more scary, but it didn't happen because we can see he is more kinded more than scary. And then the what I have to say through this poem is like the writer conveys like he gives us a message saying that don't be too sure about anything because if you jump over the limit, problems can increase, like such as this poem. But the writer conveys that not to be too sure. So that's my opinion. Thank you.
Okay, now what should I say?
Very bad.
No, no. Right. There's a poem called, I can't remember, about my husband. About my husband. Yeah, about my husband, the clown. What could I say? Right. Remember the poem? Ah, likewise.
Yeah, yeah.
About my son, Tuan. What could I say? Right. The same way I said. It was really, really nice, right? I like the way you start the poem. Tenuki said, two people's company, two's company, right? That is the starting given by Tenuki. And you said company we use in today's life, the commercial life, we use the company. But here we talk about the two people's interactions, right? Two people's interactions and their company is the mention here. That was really nice. At the same time, this point was highlighted in me. I have taken note in that because you said the sad story of a man who didn't believe in ghosts. That one line, it talks about the entire poem. That's true, right? That's a very good observation because that one line is what the entire poem is. Very good observation, right? After that, what I like my what we call the my criticism, right? My criticism is always going to be constructive one. Why it is constructive one? Because I want you guys to focus on the point that you have missed this time, right? Then you can improve it next time. Tuan, if you could have done something in the middle of the flow, I felt like from the starting to the ending, you went slow fast. You went very fast, right? So you were in the first one, and then suddenly you came to this point. How do you do? Right? That was the only minus point I could figure out in your appreciation. Rather than that, it was really a good one, right? This is how Daham used to present earlier. I don't know how he gave it up. I don't know whether my, what we call that, evil eye, mage ඇස්ව හැවදුනද දන්නෙත් නැහැ කොල්ලට. He totally gave up on that. So earlier, that's how he did, right? He kept the book there, get the points and pick up the lines and deeply analyze the evidences and move to the next part. I don't know why Daham left that amazing pattern of doing appreciation. Now you have started in that way. But what is more special in yours, Puta? Your way of explanation is very natural. Tanuki, do you agree with me? Right? Very naturally you do it. That's last week also I told you, right? That one I mentioned, that one, right? Like you take it eventually. Just when you are having a discussion, you friendly talk to the other people. That's how I do the poems. I don't conduct the literature class as a literature teacher. I conduct it as a very funny, outgoing one. Yes or no? Like most of the time, Tenuki's mama is next to her, not because she want to learn the literature. She likes the way I explain because it's funny. Am I right, Tenuki? Yes. But you know, literature subject, so the easy, right? I would have taken A grade for literature. And now I want to do my literature paper again, right? Because literature, that's how the picture, that's how the people are giving that picture, right? They explain it as a very difficult thing. Literature, oh my God, this and that. Martin, out of the moon a story may vibe එකක් නේ දෙන්නේ. Yes or no, Senadi? Literature ගන්නවා කියන අම්මෝ, it's a huge risk, right? It's a huge risk. ඒකට නිකන් ඒකක් තියනවා කියන්නේ හෙන ලොකු දෙයක් වගේනේ. හැබැයි if you attend Tenuki, do you feel the same about literature?
No, ma'am.
No, right? So you do it as a hobby. Nowadays you do it as a hobby, don't you? Right? So literature is that. Not only the literature, even the mathematics, right? Even the mathematics. When you do it in a correct way, it is going to be the most exciting thing, most interesting thing, right? So